I was running late. The elevator doors were maddeningly slow, the halls too bright, the smell of antiseptic stinging my nose. But nothing could keep me from getting there. I'd promised my sister I'd stop by to see her newborn before work. I was juggling a coffee in one hand and a tiny teddy bear in the other when I turned the corner to the maternity ward. That's when I heard it. A thin, desperate cry. Not the kind of hungry, impatient wail you expect from a baby, but a raw, hoarse sob that clawed at the quiet. It stopped me cold. I followed the sound to a dim corner room marked "Special Care, No Visitors." The door was cracked open just enough for me to peek inside. On a sterile metal cart lay the smallest infant I'd ever seen, wrapped loosely in a hospital blanket. His cheeks were hollow, and his little fists thrashed weakly against the air as he cried and cried. The room was empty, no nurse, no mother, no one. I froze, unsure what to do. Then a nurse rushed past behind me. "Excuse me," I called after her, "this baby, he's been crying." She glanced over her shoulder. "Oh, he's the abandoned one. No one's claimed him. He gets formula every 4 hours. We're short-staffed tonight. Someone will get to him." And just like that, she disappeared down the hall. I stood there, staring at the tiny body on the cart. His cry was fading now, not because he was soothed, but because he was too exhausted to keep fighting. Something inside me cracked. I stepped into the room, set down my coffee and the teddy bear, and knelt by the cart. "Hey, little guy," I whispered. "You shouldn't have to wait for someone to care." I lifted him into my arms. He weighed almost nothing, his skin so fragile it felt like he might crumble in my hands. But the moment I pressed him against my chest, his fists unclenched and his sobbing quieted to a faint whimper. I sat in that chair for what felt like hours. I rocked him. I whispered to him. I found a bottle on the counter and fed him, drop by drop, until he drifted into a fitful sleep. When the nurse finally returned, she stopped in her tracks. You fed him?" she asked, startled. "Yes," I said simply. She looked at me, really looked at me, for the first time. Then her shoulders sagged. "Thank you. No one's come for him. The mother, she left as soon as she gave birth." I swallowed hard and looked down at the baby in my arms. He didn't have anyone. And yet somehow, that didn't feel right. That night, something changed in me. I stayed long after visiting hours ended. The next morning, before heading to work, I came back. And the next day. And the next. Over the following weeks, I learned his name from the paperwork, Eli. I started bringing him little blankets and onesies. I held him through vaccinations. I learned how to bathe him, how to burp him just right. And then one morning, the hospital social worker called me aside. "You've been here every day," she said gently. "Would you consider fostering him? Maybe even adopting?" The word stunned me. Me? A single, overworked office clerk with a tiny apartment and a goldfish? But when I looked down at Eli, at his big dark eyes staring back at me, the answer was clear. "Yes," I whispered. "I'd be honored." The day I signed the papers to become his foster parent, I carried him out of the hospital in my arms, past the nurses who smiled and waved. The same halls that once smelled like antiseptic now smelled like hope. That abandoned baby, left alone and forgotten in a cold hospital room, gave my life meaning I didn't even know I was missing. Today, 3 years later, Eli is thriving. His laughter fills our little apartment every morning. He's my son now, not just in name, but in every beat of my heart. That moment, in that quiet hospital room, when I chose to stop and listen to a tiny, forgotten cry, that moment changed 2 lives forever. Because kindness isn't just about grand gestures. Sometimes it's simply seeing the person no one else sees, and refusing to look away. And you never know, saying yes to one small soul might just save your own. Hopeful. Human. No matter where you are in the world, no matter who you are, you have the power to choose love over indifference. You never know who's waiting for you to hear their cry,